Hello and welcome to She Boss Talk. I am your host, Shante Arati, and I am here with another EIDL update, an EIDL $10,000 grant update with two breaking news stories. So do come on in. As always, hit that like button. Do share this out to your network, your community, and to your wall, and do subscribe future updates. You want to make sure that you're tuned in to our channel so you can know how to get your money. Okay, so this topic today, this is August the 1st. So welcome to August, everyone. It's important that we stay abreast on what's going on with the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. And if any of you all are tuning in that are not familiar, it is one of the programs that was created out of the CARES Act to help entrepreneurs and small business owners get funding due to COVID-19. So all of the businesses, entrepreneurs, independent contractors, gig workers who were impacted by COVID-19, this was an opportunity for you to get grant funding as well as a loan through the SBA. Okay, so I have been providing many updates on this program. You know, I've shared my own story, and I'll talk a little bit about that today as well. But I'm going to give you some good news, and I'm going to give you some bad news or not so good news. I'm going to start with the good news. So I told you all that, first of all, you know that we were supposed to get a full $10,000 grant within 3 days of our initial application. I applied way back on March 30th. That was the first day they opened up the applications. So you know my story, well over 30 days trying to get funded and trying to get access to my grant, expediting the matter, calling and emailing my congressional representatives like I encourage you all to do. So it's been a trying process, but I am persistent. So I do not give up until I get all my money, and I make sure that you all get your money that you are entitled to by law. So what the SBA did was they decided to parse out money because they had so many applicants. They limited to $1,000 per employee. So if you don't have any employees, it's just you were limited to $1,000. And we were supposed to get up to $2 million of loans, and that was also limited to $150,000. So, you know, that's been challenging for a lot of small business owners who have been applying for this program, trying to get funding to stay in business. Now, I told you that we have some senators that got together and introduced a new bill. Okay, it's called the EIDL for Small Business Act that they introduced to get us our full $10,000 and up to $2 million in EIDL loans. So they introduced the bipartisan bill. What that means is that there is support on both sides from both Republicans and Democrats, both the House and the Senate. So these are two senators, Rosin and Corn, who introduced this bill. They introduced it on July the 20th. And since then, it has gained 6 additional sponsors. So as we know, with any bill, it's a process, right? You introduce it, people sponsor it, then you take it to the floor, you take it to the House, the Senate. So you want to make sure that it passes. So this is great news that is gaining traction, but we still need to make sure that we are all making our voices heard, that you are calling your congressional representatives. If you don't know how to contact them, please do look in the description of this video. The link to contact your representatives is there. So I encourage you to call them, to email them, just like I did. Let them know the challenges you're having. Let them know that you are not fully funded, that you want your $10,000, and whether they pass it with this bill or they include it in the bigger stimulus that they're supposed to be negotiating, which is the HEALS Act by the Senate that they just released last week, and also the HEROES Act, which the House, right, they passed it way back in May, right? So they're negotiating that. So whether they have a separate bill or they include it in the next stimulus bill. It needs to happen, and it needs to happen quickly. But again, you have to make your voices heard. I'm doing that. I know a lot of my peers are doing that. You are coming on board. So I appreciate that. We have to keep the pressure on them to fully fund us, right? If this is what you want, you have to fight for it. I know it's been challenging, but I'm not about to give up the fight. And so know that there are advocates working on your behalf, but you have to be proactive too. Know that this is a testimonial, because me not giving up, I was able to get funded. I was denied, right? So I applied way back when, didn't hear for a long time. I was denied. I went through the reconsideration process. I had to escalate it numerous times. Then I had to contact my senator and my House representative, gave them a release so that they can speak to the SBA on my behalf. 24 hours later, I was funded. Now I was funded. I still haven't gotten my grant. And I talked to them as late as this morning. And so what I did was they funded me, but as you all know, you probably received less funding than what you needed. So I requested an increase in my loan amount. I also asked about the grant money, which understand these representatives only know so much, right? So I know I was one of the ones allocated funding, but all they can tell you is that the SBA ran out of money. Some people, if you were allocated, you should be getting your money, but they don't know if you were or were not, because that's at a higher level than what they can even tell us. They can't tell you if, how they determine the calculation of your loan. Because when they calculated mine, I'm like, how did they even come up with this number? So I requested additional increase. And again, the rep can't guarantee if they're going to do it or not, but they're going to evaluate it. So again, it's a process. You have to keep moving forward and keep pressing and keep going up the chain and contact your representatives if you need to. So again, I've been funded, but I requested today an increase for both of my businesses. So I'm expecting that. And then I also reached back out to my congressman office to let them know the status and to let them know I still don't have my grant, and to let them know that myself and others are so frustrated by the simple fact that we have not been funded our $10,000 grant that we were supposed to get, and we're still wanting it. So while they're negotiating the HEALS Act and the HEROES Act, I want them to be making sure that they're working on our behalf to get us our EIDL money. Okay. So this is for all of you. If you got only $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000, anything less than $10,000, this is for you all. So you can expect once this passes, you will get it. You will not have to reapply. I get a lot of those questions. You already apply. You already have your information. They already gave you part of the grant. They have your banking information. So all they need to do is provide you with the balance. Okay. So that's it. That's for the EIDL grant. Okay. The loan is still open. The grant closed. We will see if in the stimulus, they will open up the grant again. Once they do that, they need to be just depositing the full $10,000. So I'm monitoring for that. And as you know, I will keep you updated. You will be the first ones to know. So again, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure you share out this video and this channel to your peers, because there's so many entrepreneurs and small business owners that don't know that these programs exist, or they gave up on it. They didn't continue with the process. So we need to make sure that all of us are getting our money. Okay. That's all I really care about at this point. I want to make sure we all get our money. Now that's the great news. Okay. That's good news. Now here's some not so good news for you. And you need to share this is equally for the same reason, because there is a big fraud issue with the EIDL program. The OIG announced on July 28th. You can look at the SBA website. It's also in the description. A fraud alert that they published a report on the website. And let me just give you some of the details of it, of some of the findings, because we all know, I've heard some of you on here and across my social media channel, my peers have been saying, how hard we're working to try to get funding, and then there are people that are frauding the system. That's always the case, and they make it harder for us. That means these people that are being fraudulent, and I understand that, and I did not tell you. I said that they're being fraudulent, but it's going to come back around. They will not get away with it, okay? So people have been reporting fraud to the SBA offices around the country. Their regional offices all around the country. So when you see that or suspected fraud, they have a hotline where you report into. So let me just tell you, 5,000 complaints have been reported for suspected fraud. And we know there has been fraud because people have been telling me that people with no employees are saying that they got the $10,000 grant and they said they had 10 employees and didn't, or you said you had employees and you have contractors. Employees are W-2 workers. So you cannot lie on your application. You cannot say you have businesses that you don't have and then think you're just going to get the money. Okay, yeah, you may get it, but they're going to take it right back, and you may be penalized, fined, and may serve jail time. It's not even worth all of that. When you already know the law says you get $10,000 anyway, just wait out the process and eventually you will get your $10,000. But some of you are not smart and you're doing these fraudulent things. And I can only tell you, you need to work with the utmost integrity because the government doesn't play. And the taxpayers don't play either because this is taxpayers' money, okay, that you're dealing with. And you're keeping money out of the pockets of the businesses and entrepreneurs that need it. So the complaints are coming in. So don't think that people aren't seeing this, that they aren't reporting it, because guess what? They are. And the OIG is asking for quick and swift action to be taken concerning this matter. They also found that the SBA, not surprising, are lacking internal controls, which had they been in place would have caught some of these things, right? So we noticed some of these challenges both with this program and the PPP program, where money is going to companies and businesses that it never should have gone to. And the ones like the minority business, women businesses, 90% of us didn't even get funding. What? And our doors are closing while fraudulent people out here getting their money, and billion-dollar companies are getting money that we were entitled to. And so fortunately, a lot of those companies like that got the PPP money have given it back, but not all of them have. That's why there's still $130 billion available for the Paycheck Protection Program. By the way, you have until August the 8th to get approved for that. So if you haven't applied, please do apply. Okay. But again, the SBA has had a lax in internal controls that they needed to have in place. There is potentially $250 million of ineligible participants that got money. Let me say that again. $250 million. And I'm pretty sure that's a low number. I'm pretty sure it's probably even higher than that, of ineligible businesses that got money that they shouldn't have gotten, that they got deposits that they shouldn't have gotten. And so I've heard some of you saying that people got money and then they took it out of there. You got it, right? You got the money and then the SBA took it back. That may be a reason why they took it back. If they found that you were fraudulent or you misrepresented, again, understand with these programs, to make it easier for us, all they had you do was self-certify. The regular process was more lengthy. If you saw the application before they updated it after the CARES Act law passed, it was lengthy. You had to submit all this documentation. They made it so easy where all you had to do was take 5 minutes, fill out a form, self-certify that your information is true. But when you self-certify, you're certifying that you're not committing perjury, that you're not lying, and that you understand that you can get in trouble for lying, and they will come after you. This is serious business. If you don't, just Google. There have been people that have been caught and that are being prosecuted and arrested and including using money incorrectly. This money is to be used on your business. Your business had to have been suffering or be suffering. That's an economic injury. This is not to take money to go buy a Lamborghini, to go buy a Coach purse, to go take some extravagant trip. All of that is going to get you in trouble. And if you didn't see my video on the do's and don'ts of using idle money, I would highly recommend you go watch that video, because many people have watched it, and it was found it very helpful for them, because they didn't know how to use the money, and they were sitting on it because they weren't. The SBA, the government is never clear. They talk in generalities. So I broke it on exactly what you can and cannot use your idle money for. So if you have not seen that video, do watch it, and do also share that video as well. So I will keep you updated on that as well. But there's a big issue. They want swift action to be taken against all of these fraud monies. This potential fraud, ineligible participants. So those of you that got your money, if you possibly spent it, they coming after you for the money. Okay. So that's that. Let's start. That's the good news and the bad news on the EIDL program. As far as updates, I just explained to you that I spoke with the SBA today, and I also emailed my representative regarding my case. So I would encourage you all to do the same if you've already applied. If you haven't gotten your loan, if you were denied and you haven't gotten your grant, just be patient with the process, but make sure that you're following up on the proper steps. That if you were denied, that you file your request for reconsideration. I have tons of videos on that too. Don't give up on the process. I was denied on credit. I do not have a bad credit score. That is not the only reason they would deny you on credit. So I followed the process, and I was funded after I got my senator involved, right? So they quickly funded me for both programs. I have not gotten the money yet because I'm waiting for the increase. That's the only reason, because I didn't go through the submit loan papers because I want more money. And then at the time they fund me the right amount of money, that's when I will actually sign the loan document. So I'm just waiting out that process, knowing with the SBA it's going to take time, right? And that's what they tell you. But I would encourage you to, still apply if you want the loan, to do that. Follow through with all the steps. Escalate it if you need to. Call your senator, call your House representatives if you need to. If you feel like you're not getting, no one is hearing you, or they're not listening, or you're not getting action that you need. Those of you that have only been waiting a few days or a week, there are tons of us that have been waiting way longer. Like it's over 100 days at this point. We're in August 1st. I applied March 31st. So understand it's going to take time. If you don't hear something in a week, just give it time. If it's been 2 weeks, call them. Call the SBA. The number is in the description as well. The information on where to send your request for reconsideration is also in the description. How to apply, where to apply for EIDL is in the description. You go to the SBA website, www.sba.gov. But again, at this point, if you're applying, you will not get the advance because it is gone, because the SBA is out of funding, and we need to push them to get more funding in these next bills that are coming up. Okay. So I believe that is it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, drop your questions, comments in. I see you all out there. I do see you. But I will actually follow up and answer your questions. So we don't have too long of a video. Just wanted to come and get straight to the point on what you needed to know about actions that are happening to get you your full $10,000 grant, your full funding up to $2 million, and the fraud alert on the EIDL program, the report that was issued by the OIG, and the swift action that they are taking. So if any of your peers, if any of you reported them, let them know. that what is happening. I would encourage them that if they did take money that didn't belong to them, that they return it. Okay. So I don't want to see people. Just be honest, and you'll get what's yours. Okay. So continue to go after your money, apply for these different programs. These are not the only programs. There's grants with your city, your county, your state. Those of you who are international, do check within your country. They have grants too. I don't know if they have as many as we have here in the US, because we're the country that's been the most impacted. The whole country basically shut down. So there's a lot of grant funding available. So check your city, your county, and your state, and other organizations as well. The grant tracker to my website at www.shebosstalk.com is also in the description. It makes it easier for you to search out grants. I'm making it easy for you to go get your money. So do that. Go get your money. Do share out this video and this channel. Sharing is caring. Let everybody know what they need to know to get their money. You all have a wonderful Saturday, and I will talk to you later. Bye.